A massive thank you to Liam, Josh, Stephen, Graham and Dab for subscribing to the channel. If you want to be featured in these clips, make sure you subscribe down below. Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we're here for round 21 of Season 2 of the F1 22 My Team Career Mode. Yesterday we head down to Interlagos for the Brazilian Grand Prix, of course the final sprint weekend of Season 2 of this career mode. And yeah, so far things are looking very, very spicy. If you missed out on the last video from the Haas Road to Glory, I would highly recommend going back and checking that one out. The Mexican GP from this series as well was absolutely phenomenal. So Mexico, I don't know what it is about that venue, always delivers great racing as well. So yeah, definitely would recommend going back and checking out. But in terms of everything going on in the My Team series, at the moment we do need to try and get some more facility upgrades on the board if possible. Want to try and get some of the facilities up to level 3 now, as we are struggling a bit with some of the upgrades that we need, but I think we're going to need a little bit more cash before we can do anything like that. So we'll continue to set up everything that we possibly can at the moment. I think we will go with quality control on the chassis side of things. Now that'll leave us with 2.6 mil. Of course, we need to get Tailboard Chair's contract renewed, ready for Season 3 and everything like that as well. But of course, if you're new around here and you do want to enjoy this video, please do make sure you leave a like and get yourself subscribed for daily F1 22 content. Of course, currently just hit 82,000 subscribers. Want to try and hit 100k by the end of the year, so you can help me get one step closer. It would be massively appreciated. But championship-wise then, Bottas still leads the way, but 19 points now cover the top 3, as we have just got 2.5 races left to go of the season. Will it be Bottas? Will it be Russell? Could it even be Charles Leclerc there? Ferrari really are a dark horse late on in the year. Only time will tell. Charles Leclerc's won the last 3 Grand Prix in a row. George Russell hasn't even had a podium in that time, and Bottas has not obviously had a win, of course, a 2nd, a 3rd and a 6th place, so it is really looking like it could be heading Charles Leclerc's direction. But Brazil can often deliver some surprises. Let's get into it. Right, well, here we are then, back in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Feels like a very long time since we've come to Interlagos on the F1 games, but, you know, I do miss this place. You know, it's got so much history, and, you know, the atmosphere around here as well. You know, I've never unfortunately been to the Brazilian Grand Prix in real life, but yeah, it really is a motorsport and Formula 1 loving nation. I do wonder, you know, there are small inklings here and there as to whether Felipe Drugovich might be close to an F1 seat ready for 2023. Of course, looking more likely that he would be a reserve driver, but yeah, maybe, you know, get a Brazilian back in Formula 1. It's been too long, of course, since Felipe Massa gave it up, and I mean, what a lineage they've had as well in the sport. You know, even the likes of your Massas and your Barrichellos of more recent times, but of course your Ayrton Sennas, your Emerson Fittipaldis. I think those are the sort of 2 good world champions I can remember off the top of my head. But yeah, let's just come towards the end of our track climatization lap as we head down in towards the final couple of turns of this one. So far it's been a sea of purples with a handful of greens sprinkled in there. But as we head up out of Junsao, up towards the final, well really, it's not really a corner, is it? Out of these final few kinks, up towards the line. Is it going to be a purple score overall? Yes it is, only just, but a purple is a purple. Alright, ERS test then up next, of course, really round here. Shouldn't have to use too much battery, it'll just be a case of trying to make sure we beat the Delta. Might have to use a little bit at the final corner, as I'm definitely not as confident as I would like on the brakes down at turn 1 there. Braking at the 100 metre board rather than about 75. Just going to use a splash of battery as we head out the first couple of turns. But yeah, really a lot of time can be gained through the middle sector. Out of the final corner then, you can see currently half second down on the predicted time. But we are going to be able to find a lot of delta as we head up towards the start-finish line. It's going to be very close when we get there. Oh, look at that, just clutched it up by less than a tenth, but yeah, good runs through free practice then, a couple of purple scores on the board. Let's get into qualifying then, here in Brazil. Imperium experiences are back and better than ever. This time they are offering you the chance to win a weekend of a lifetime at the 2022 season finale in Abu Dhabi. This includes a 4-night accommodation at a 5-star hotel and travel to and from the circuit included every day. All you need to do is click the link down in my description and enter the competition on their website. But hurry, with only 1,500 tickets available and the competition closing on the 14th of September, you definitely don't want to miss out on this. So click the link down in the description below, and a massive thank you to Imperium for sponsoring this video. Right, well here we are then, qualifying day from Brazil. Esteban Ocon immediately sets the benchmark with a 1:07.9. We have got a lot stronger in our qualifying performances in recent weeks, of course. Yeah, able to put it on the front row last hour in Mexico. Certainly not expecting quite the same fortune this weekend. I think that was really a case of best case scenario, if you will. But we'll see what we can do this weekend. Really now, I think we are sort of gunning for Q3 appearances more and more. Of course, especially with the sprint race, might give us, if we can get a good start as well, come Saturday, and we can definitely try and bolster ourselves up the order a bit and set ourselves up for maybe, you know, some good solid points finishes as well. As we head out of Junsao once more then, as we head up towards the start-finish line, of course trying to give ourselves a run, not only of the shortest run, but also, of course, the run of least resistance. Verstappen sets a 7.3. We only do an 8.0 then, so quicker than the Mercedes still, but slower than Ocon. We're definitely going to need another run then in Q1. Getting ready then to start our final lap here of qualifying. We've got Nicholas Latifi a little way up the road. Fingers crossed he won't block me too badly. But Hamilton as well is still down in the drop zone. I think he is well and truly cursed though in this career mode, as Teo Porcher had improved up to a 1:07.6 and is now out of the session, so that's not really ideal then as we come towards the end of Q1. But we need to try and find more time here if we want to see ourselves into Q2. I'm not even sure where Porcher is around the circuit. Is he in the pit lane? I don't really know what's going on, but we need to focus on making sure we get a good final lap in here. Green in sector 1, slowly just finding a bit more time. Of course, I forgot as well, obviously on a sprint race weekend, you get one less set of tyres for qualifying. So the sprint race, of course, you've got to then use that extra set that you're given. But so far, this lap time is going the right way, and maybe we can get a bit of a toe off Latifi out the final couple of turns as well. So we head our way through this tight technical middle sector, of course, bookended by the two very fast parts of the lap. We're only a 10.5 up at the moment. We really aren't finding as much time as I would have wanted here. And out of the final corner, then up towards the line, we don't get a good run out of the final turn either. And this will not see us into Q2 at the Brazilian Grand Prix there. This has been an absolute disaster of a session. After hyping up Q3 appearances, it's P20. Oh, dearie me. To go then, a nightmare end to qualifying here in Brazil. Hamilton does improve there, the only man down into the 109s. As you can see, Charles Leclerc and Bottas down in 4th and 5th there. George Russell, the last of that little battle, down in 6th place. But yeah, I mean, Teo Porcher out in Q1 as well. Yuki Tsunoda's got a 5-place grid penalty, so not too sure what he managed to do. But yeah, for some reason this weekend the car not working for either myself or Porcher there. 1 second away from fastest is good enough to see you out in Q1. I guess we've just got to hope for some good race pace and try to recover in the sprint. This channel is proudly sponsored by Bybit, the official crypto partner of Red Bull's Formula 1 team. I've been using their platform for my personal crypto savings over the last few months, and when they got in touch to support the channel, I was super excited. Currently, they're offering you guys a special new promo for the first 100 of you to deposit $10 or more onto the platform. You'll get another $10 free. Also, 5 lucky winners will get their initial deposit doubled up to $1,000. That means if you deposited $1,000 onto the platform using my codes below, you could be within a chance to get another $1,000 completely free. We've seen the landscape around crypto drastically change over the last couple of years, and I genuinely believe it holds an important place in our future. However, please be careful as always when trading, as you are liable to lose money. But if you're interested and you're 18 or older, click the link down below to get started and see why Red Bull and myself, as well as thousands of others, trust Bybit as their crypto.
Forget pit stops, forget fuel management. It's pedal to the metal all the way here as we get ready for today's sprint. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting sprint. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Verstappen, George Russell and Hamilton, Perez, Sainz, Ricciardo and Esteban Ocon, Gasly, Tsunoda, Alex Albon and Drugovic, Magnussen, Teo Pourchaire, Lance Stroll and Robert Schwartzman, Mick Schumacher, Mr. Monaco, Latifi and Guan Yu Zhou. And with preparations almost complete, let's head trackside for today's sprint.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
Right, well, here we are then on the grid, ready for the Brazilian GP. Round 21, and of course the sprint race today, and the main event will go live on this channel tomorrow, so definitely get yourself subscribed for that one as well. But yeah, not the qualifying we would have wanted. Clearly there are plenty of grid penalties, though, going round the sport at the moment. And I know I tried this last year, and I'm going to try it again. We're going to try and no stop on the soft compounded tyres. Often, Brazil hasn't been too bad for tyre wear, so fingers crossed that can work out nicely for us today. But we need to be aggressive in this sprint. Like I said, we've got quite a few grid penalties ready for the main event tomorrow. You know, Lando Norris on the pole. I'm sure he's just going to let Bottas by and hope that his teammate can build up a bit of a championship lead there with Charles Leclerc maybe out of position. But yeah, let's get into it then. It's been a while since we've started this far down towards the rear of an F1 grid, and I don't want it to continue over the next couple of weekends. Maybe today we can get ourselves up towards the top 10 ready for the feature race tomorrow. Just a quick reminder, of course, of the last sprint we did on F1 22. That was Austria, where we went, I think it was from 22nd or 21st even, to about 6th. So let's hope for similar luck today. Let's also, you know, I might be clutching here, but let's not forget who started last year, P20, in the Brazilian Grand Prix sprint race that weekend. Didn't go too badly for Lewis Hamilton. I think if we can emulate that, we'd be very, very lucky. But anyway, let's get ourselves lined up then on the grid, ready for round 21 of the year. Pretty much perfect there on the lineup. We've got Schwartzman and Schumacher just in front, Latifi and Zhou Guan Yu just behind. And let's see if we can get a good clean start then for this race today. 5 red lights for the sprint, and it is going to be lights out and away we go. Really desperately trying to avoid wheel spin there off the launch, and you can already see immediately Zhou Guan Yu and Latifi trying to look around the outside there. We'll send it. I'm in front of you. I'm literally in front of Mick Schumacher in his Haas-Cup. What is that? Mick Schumacher just decides I'm invisible, apparently, as we head out of turn 3 there. I apologise for the fact that only dogs can hear that commentary, but around the outside of Lance Stroll, down at the bottom of the hill. No, I mean, Mick Schumacher, we were actually in front of him, in towards some other, and he still turns in on me, and then we're quite clearly around the outside through turn 3, and he still just decides to go for it there. He's up the inside of the other Alfa Romeo, Robert Schwartzman. Let's see if we can try and hook it up around the outside of him. Looks like Pourchaire's had a decent start up a few places as well there. Schwartzman's just going to try and close the door, but of course we've got to utilise these softer tyres early on in this race. We'll probably see the overlap happen maybe about lap 9, lap 10 here, so we have got to be really, really aggressive early on in this Grand Prix as we head out the final corner. Looks like one of the Red Bulls has had a mega start here. Not too sure whether that is Perez or Max Verstappen as we head over the line. I'm not a betting man, but yeah, if I was imagining it was going to be Verstappen that has moved his way up the order. As Kevin Magnussen forcing him incredibly defensive down towards 1 there. The Haas car, though. Sorry, the Aston Martin even, that's force of habit. Just runs into the back of Alex Albon down at turn 1. I think he got away with it, but we certainly saw a little bit of dust or carbon fibre being picked up. But K-Mag lives to fight another day. So Aston Martin very, very slow through turn 4. So we will have a look up the inside, sorry, through turn 5 there. So we went up the inside at turn 6, up to 16th place. Then, like I said, you know, if we can get ourselves nice and close to the top 10, that would be rather reassuring. Clearly we don't have as much extra top-end speed as I would like in this sprint race, but, you know, we can still make the difference on the brakes, and especially through Sector 2, we are mighty. Yellow flags out. Oh! Yeah, Gasly's gone round. What on earth's happened to Pierre then? Just suddenly kind of appeared across the track. While riding on board then with Pierre Gasly down in towards the first corner behind his teammate Yuki Tsunoda. Just decides to do a pirouette. Why not, eh? Fair play to you, Pierre. Just doing what you feel like. We're now sat behind Felipe Drugovich and Alex Albon, of course. Yeah, we mentioned in practice how Drugovich really does need an F1 seat. Has got one in this series, of course. I hired him originally. And often I think when you hire F2 drivers, they tend to stay in Formula 1 even when you get rid of them. But up the inside of Albon, through what is apparently now becoming my favourite overtaking place here. Hooking up around the outside through the next hairpin, inside for the next corner. Surely this one's a done deal. Alex Albon hasn't had much luck going side by side through there with other cars. And he'll again, well, that time around he only loses one place fairly rather than lots of places rather unfairly. Next up, Drugovich. Drugovich then can't quite get the run out of turn 1. I don't know if he's still going to have the DRS. No, he is not. So he head down the Assetto Corsa here. Oh, he's going to be very, very aggressive though. And I'm sure the Brazilian fans don't want to see this, but it's a move I have to make. And we are a bit of P13 then of this race in Brazil. Teo Porcher next up the road, just behind Esteban Ocon. And then we've got Tsunoda. Of course, there's only there is only 8 places available for points, of course, in this sprint. So it's going to be a long road to that. But there is a big, big gaggle of cars there. Verstappen is causing a bit of a train. It looks like as we come towards that halfway stage of this race, that everyone now in front of me is in that train of cars behind the race leader, Max Verstappen. None of them seem to be able to do anything, though, about the Red Bull at the front. So maybe that car still showing some very, very good top-end speed. Red Bull and Ferrari have certainly made big, big progress towards the end of this Season 2 there, which could set us up quite nicely for Season 3. We're not meant to be seeing any major rule changes ready for next season, but I do desperately need to try and get the slipstream of Teo Porcher and the DRS, because at the moment, obviously, all those cars are bunching up, and I'm just losing out slightly because of it. Oh, there we go. Start of lap 8. New fastest lap of the day there as well. You can just see how hard we're pushing back into turn 1 then, trying to make the track as wide as possible. But yeah, clearly now we have still got some very, very good pace in this. It looks like now Max Verstappen is starting to struggle in this Grand Prix. Looks like I'm guessing Lando Norris has snuck by now up into the lead. And are we about to see the floodgates open? And maybe things start to unfold for the Dutchman with a few laps to go here. They are nose to tail up the road, everyone trying to make moves, and surely if we can just keep these tyres in good nick, by not doing things like that, heart's still working, but don't worry, we're alright. That was incredibly scary for a brief moment. Yeah, we can just now, of course, all these cars so bunched up, hopefully a few more of them are just going to be easy pickings towards the end. Oh, something going on with Yuki Tsunoda, as we've got Sainz and Ricciardo going side by side just up in front, but that's going to allow me to get around the outside of our teammate Teo Porcher. They're in a very, very unlikely move, as yes, Sainz now down in the final points-paying position for this sprint race. We've got his teammate Esteban Ocon just in front of me, as we've got yellow flags out. I think that might be Mick Schumacher retiring from this Grand Prix. Yes, it is. Mick Schumacher is out of the sprint race here in Brazil. Not what the young Haasman would have wanted. Maybe it's a little bit of karma for what he did to me at the start of the race there. But all now in the wheel tracks of Esteban Ocon as we head back up towards the start-finish line. Esteban just trying to go a little bit defensive, makes contact with Tsunoda, and we just have to back out of it on the exit. Sainz getting involved in even more shenanigans. Now Ocon's going to try and come back at the other AlphaTauri there, and now I'm going to go with his teammate as they head down the Assetto Corsa once more in this Grand Prix. It is all going on at the moment. Sainz now running very, very slow. Oh, Ricciardo just noticed the Ferrari running out wide there, and it's all kicking off towards the end of the sprint race here. Ricciardo and Sainz now again going side by side. Teo Porcher trying to turn in on me through the hairpin. Not too sure what our teammate's trying to do at the moment, but he is certainly getting his elbows out, and Tsunoda and Ocon, it's just 2 by 2 as we head through the middle sector here, and if certainly the new regulations are really working now in Formula 1, is Tsunoda going to try and offset Ocon through the final couple of turns there. We just get caught out in it. We got a Mercedes going slowly as well. That is George Russell. What on earth is going on towards the end of the sprint race here? George Russell clearly has got some sort of issue. Now Tsunoda has been able to get the run around the outside of Esteban Ocon as we head down the Assetto Corsa for the penultimate time in this Grand Prix, and despite that, Tsunoda's still got the DRS of the Alpine as well, so it is all kicking off late on in the race. My tyres have completely gone off. I've got no idea what's happened to our teammate Teo Porcher there, as Drugovic now suddenly back up into 12th place of this Grand Prix. But yeah, our tyres are certainly going off. We just need to try and drag them one more lap around this venue. I mean, they're only on 53%, so they shouldn't feel as bad as they are. But of course, yeah, they've basically had 11 qualifying laps been put through them at the moment, so I imagine they're getting quite toasty. Even there, they're showing up at alright temperatures. I guess what we've really got to hope for as we're about to start the last lap. Oh, we're still good on fuel, aren't we? Yeah. Yeah, as we start the last lap then here in Brazil, it looks like Lando Norris is going to comfortably walk away with the sprint race victory, and the first time we've seen the fellow Brit on the podium in a long, long time in this series, or at least on the top step of the podium. But are we going to see Ocon get a run on Sonoda as we head down the Esquina de Lago for the final time then? Drugovic is, Teo Porcher even has completely fallen off. This race has just absolutely scrambled my brain here, as here goes Ocon. No, can't quite get close enough to Yuki. Anyway, down in towards the final couple of corners then of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Lando Norris is finally going to return to the top step of the podium here in what has been a very, very difficult second half of the year for him and McLaren. Max Verstappen is going to hang on for P2 there, but Bottas critically does extend the gap over Charles Leclerc there for the first time in 4 races. Perez sits fastest lap as he comes across the line, and we recover from 20th to 11th.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
Let's have a look then at the driver's standings. More points for Valtteri Bottas, further solidifying his lead at the top of the table. Let's move on to the constructors. McLaren continue to increase their gap at the top. Meanwhile, good work from Aston Martin this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. Well, that wraps up the sprint. All that remains is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then.
Well, there we are then, the end of the Brazilian GP sprint, and it is Lando Norris that walks away with the race victory there, just under 5 seconds clear of Max Verstappen. But how the Dutchman went from 4th to 1st on that first lap must have been absolutely incredible at the front of the field there. Bottas ahead of Charles Leclerc does mean he extends the gap at the top by just 1 point, and Hamilton, I'm sure honestly at this point it might only be a sprint, but happy to see a checkered flag there. I think that result though basically guarantees, unless George Russell gets a miracle tomorrow, he is out of the Formula 1 World Championship battle there. It is going to be Charles Leclerc versus Valtteri Bottas at the end of Season 2. Perez, Ricciardo and Carlos Sainz do round out the top 10. Like I said, our tyres unfortunately just fell off towards the checkered flag there. Porcher recovered up to 14th place as well, so a decent drive by both of our cars. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please do make sure you leave a like and get yourself subscribed. And yeah, we will return tomorrow ready for the main race. You guys do not want to miss that. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below, and yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.